Good morning, vlogmas. It is Wednesday. It is the 14th of December. I had planned not to work today because I thought Richard was going to be over, but it looks like he's not going to be over till this evening. Yeah, so the plan is that I'm probably just going to carry on doing housework this morning. I've already been out in the garden and cleaned the windows, so I'm kind of carry on doing that, and then I'm going to sit and read and knit for a bit. I've got yesterday's vlog to edit and just little bits and pieces to do again. It's going to be another pottering around day. But yeah, we shall see what we get up to, and I'll take you along with me. So if you've been here for vlogs regularly, or you've watched any of my vlog series before, you'll be used to the fact that I work on a square, on my mitred square blanket every day, every morning. And the current mitred square blanket is this one, which is fingering weight yarn and mohair held together to make a DK weight. So it's being knit on 4mm needles, and it's 25 stitches, so 25, 25. So when you pick up on the corner and then decrease in the middle. So SSK knit two together at either side of the stitch marker, which is in the middle of the stitches, every other row until there are no stitches left. So that's your basic sort of mitred square. And the plan with this one was that it was going to be more muted colours to go in the living room, and it's also going to be a bit of a smaller blanket. So even though this was only cast on just over a month ago, it is already over halfway done. It is only going to be, I think, about 100 squares. I'm going to make it, at the moment it's 10 across by 10. And I've worked half the diagonal, and now I'm filling in the other side. So the plan is to make it square and then see if it wants to be made longer to 12 or 14 into a rectangle, just for size wise. But to be honest, it's just it's going to be a blanket to go over my knee when I'm either spinning or sitting down here. I always have to have a blanket on my knee down here because these Jacks like to jump up with their claws out, so, and trousers aren't thick enough to cope with that. So that's why I always have a blanket on if I'm spinning or if I'm sitting knitting. It's just, the cats also know that if I've got a blanket on my knee, they're allowed to come and sit on my knee. They get told off if they try and sit on my knee and I don't have a blanket. It's a very angry face, Jax. So yeah, so it's just going to be a throw blanket down here, so it's not nearly as big as the ones I've previously made, which have gone over double and king size beds. So I'm basically referring to this as my 3-month blanket, because I reckon if I do at least 1 square a day, which I always do, this should be finished in 3 months, this blanket. I'll do an I-cord around the edge as well, just to finish it off. That's what I've done on all my other mitred square blankets. So the only other thing that I'm doing with this blanket is in sort of managing the colours. I'm alternating a hand-dyed, sort of more speckled or self-striping or something like that, with a flat colour. Mainly I've been using Drops Flora, something like that. Just a commercial 4-ply, which is a solid colour. So yeah, so that's the plan, and I'm sort of trying to make the colours flow. So at the moment it's more blues and purples over there, going to sort of oranges and yellows in the middle, and coming to greens over this side, and now I'm just sort of flowing into pinks and purples this side, and the greens will start coming in on the other side as well. But yeah, it's these squares take about an hour to knit, and I knit one first thing every morning. I always leave it like this so that the next square is picked up ready to work on, because I know for a fact that if the first knitting job I have to do in the morning is to pick up a square, then I'm not going to work on it. This way it's ready for me just to finish yesterday's square, and then I can pick up another one when I'm more awake. I've been knitting a bit longer, and I can knit a few rows and leave it for the next day. It works for me. It might work for other people. Yeah, if anything that's a hurdle, like the first thing you have to do requires brain space, it's not going to happen. So by leaving it in this state, so I'm just finishing a square, and then, like I say, when I'm more awake I can pick up the next one. Today's socks, which aren't showing up very well on camera, are from a Crazy Zauber ball. Hey, little cow. The cats are really fussy because I've been tidying. Yes, darling. So I'm fairly sure these were knit toe up again. So they're toe up socks again, and it's a short row heel. The short row heels are knit with the same Crazy Zauber ball, a bit of a hole. But what I did, rather than to break up the colour flow across the top, because Crazy Zauber balls are like a fractal spun yarn, so they have this sort of patterning to them, which I absolutely love. So instead of breaking that up when it came to doing the short row heel, I pulled the yarn from the other side of the ball, the side I wasn't working with. So they don't 100% match, but it's the same yarn and it doesn't break up the flow on the front. And I just really like them. But yeah, these are kind of a bit of a placeholder in my box of Christmas socks because they're not particularly Christmassy, but I just like the colours for Christmas, and they'll probably be swapped out with another pair in years to come. But for now, they can happily stay in my Christmas box because I really like them. So yeah, Crazy Zauber ball.
Merry Christmas, baby. Reindeer's coming out to play. Santa Claus is packing the presents, making sure you've been behaving okay. Merry Christmas, honey. Yeah. The snowman's dusting off his hat, putting on the show for everybody, to give them a smile that lasts another year. There's something that happens when sleigh bells are ringing, when December ends, when the children are singing, yeah. It's Merry Christmas, baby. Merry Christmas, baby. The snow is laying 2 feet deep. Now wish upon a falling star, so all your secret dreams can come true. There's something that happens when sleigh bells are ringing, when December ends, when the children are singing, yeah. It's Merry Christmas, baby. Ooh, yeah. There's room at the table for big and for small. All the fire is popping, the chestnuts are cracking, yeah. Merry Christmas, baby. There's something that happens when something that happens when December ends, when December ends, yeah, yeah. Oh, it's Merry Christmas, baby. Merry Christmas, baby. It's Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. It's Merry Christmas, baby. Yeah. It's Merry Christmas, baby.
It's a good book. dried my eyes a bit now. I was absolutely bawling for about the last 2 chapters. Oh dear. It was a happy ending though, and they will set me off worse than sad endings. Oh dear. I've really no reason to move, so I think I'm going to dive into the next book in the series. Need to know what happens. So there's only 3 more books left, and this last trilogy is the Fitz and the Fool trilogy, which starts with Fool's Assassin and it's a Robin Hobb book. So yeah, I'm just going to read the prologue and maybe the first chapter, and then I will move because I have editing to do and spinning to do and whatnot. But I'm nearly finished this Black Hat. So if I can actually get this finished, I will feel like I have achieved more with my day than just reading a book.